What a weekend. After some hints from 𝐂𝐴 himself at Jackson's Hole, thanks for joining us on Friday. That was an awesome stream, by the way. Markets are definitely reconsidering what's going on here. We saw a lot of spice. So much spice. Bitcoin reached down to 110,000, breaking a new low for August. This was not a very bullish, not a good sign. However, Ethereum picking up some of the slack on Bitcoin's weakness, driving up to new all-time highs, hitting $5,000 and retracing, holding those gains steady. The crypto market is in jeopardy, but I don't think it's quite over yet. We're going to look at these charts. We're going to update you. We're going to give our best analysis as to what's going on. It's interesting for sure. XRP holding out at about $3. Solana hitting some new multi-month highs at 210 over the weekend. Things are a little different. I appreciate you for joining. Make sure you smash the like, the subscribe button, share it out. We've got a lot to look at today. Let's go, boys. Let's go. Here we are. You like that transition? I like that transition. Hopefully it plays sound. I actually have no idea. Anyway, what is up? What is going on? Bitcoin making me uncomfortable over this weekend. Even today, hitting new lows versus yesterday. So starting off the new week with even lower lows, we do see it again bouncing. 112.5 thousand, seeming to hold support again for the 6th-ish, 8th-ish, 10th, 20th time over the last month. Not a great signal. Remember, support or a level where buyers are coming in weakens on each test. So every time we trade down below 12K, each one of these new wicks, each one of these new candles increases the probability of the next time that level is tested, 112,000, breaking, going lower. This is definitely not what I was hoping for. We had a lot of excitement over the last few weeks with the monthly pivot. That's where August opened. Below this level, August for the month is red or net loss, and above it's green. And we definitely had some excitement here as we retook this level early in August and hit a new all-time high. 124.5 thousand. Price then sold off down to 12. We got a failed rally on over this weekend. Friday over this weekend, do 117.5, and we've traded lower. Bitcoin not looking hot here. Not looking hot here at all. This is not a great looking pattern almost no matter how you look at it. We have a move to an all-time high that then immediately moves and breaks our range low. This area here. This was our previous resistance from May. We were praying it held as support here. Things were looking really good. This is pretty savage. I'm not going to lie. Do I think the bull run is over? That's the poll going on in the chat right now. I don't think the bull run is over. I still believe, until proven otherwise, that we have another cycle high coming in Q4. But for now, in August, we might see some, I don't know, it's probably too early to call, but we might see some sideways bleeding. You know, we're really used to that in this cycle anyway, into what is left of August and even into September, even with rate cuts coming. This is not the price action we were hoping for. We have a few days left in August, and wrapping up above 115.7 really kind of puts a lot of this behind us, but man, this sucks. This absolutely sucks. You can interpret this pattern in many ways. You could say left shoulder, head. This probably doesn't count as our right shoulder, but you could get there. You could say this looks like a neckline, or this at least looks like an important support in our market structure that just doesn't seem to be doing enough lifting to push us back to highs. This isn't great, especially coupled with Friday's lower high here. We have a downtrend on the daily after hitting all-time high. That is not what we want, not what we have learned and seen in crypto cycles in the past. This cycle, I tweeted on Friday or whatever, this weekend, that I'm just going to say it, what everyone's thinking, this cycle sucks. I debated if I should actually send that out earlier. I debated if I should send that out when I was doing it, and I was like, yeah, screw it. You know, this is how I feel. I don't care. And it was incredibly successful. I think that other people are feeling this vibe. 108,000. That's really good for our tweets. I don't get that many views on tweets. 108,000, almost 110,000 people getting that, watching that, over 1,000 likes. I think people are in the same boat here. This cycle kind of sucks. Each new high is met with a sell-off. We haven't seen price exploration or discovery in a meaningful, exciting, hype way yet. I still think that the probability of that coming at the end of this year is high. That's where it happens, or has happened in the cycle a lot of the time. But man, this is so brutal. But luckily, we have some other charts to look at. Ethereum giving us some hope here. So if alts had still just kind of been down, not doing anything as we saw for the majority of the last few years, coupled with Bitcoin's recent price action, I would be leaning a little bit more bearish than I am currently. Without Ethereum and without Solana, BNB, and a bunch of these other coins kind of finally making moves here, the market would feel much less bullish than it is, I'll say. Ethereum hit 5,000, or damn close to 5,000, 4,986 yesterday. This is keeping hope alive. This is showing us that there still is capital flowing, rotating around in this space. It's just, for some reason, hanging out not with Bitcoin. Actually, I think I have the reason. I'll show you in just a little bit here why I think this is happening. The chart will show us, as it always does. Similar, though, to Bitcoin's all-time high, Ethereum immediately rejecting, selling off, and then trading lower than the 2 days prior. Today touching down to 4,500 after hitting just shy of 5,000. Very par for the course. This isn't very scary yet. This is honestly what we've seen every single time almost anything has gotten to all-time high over the last few years. We have been talking about this move. Sorry, allergies. Seasons are changing. Everything's messing with my allergies here. We've been talking about this move for a while. People asking, where should we take profit on Ethereum? What's the play? Well, you guys know I have had a rather large long open on Ethereum, and I'm proud to tell you I followed through with the first step of the plan that we created here last week or the week before. This is not a bad position here. This Ethereum long up like 600% from 3,100 on 10x. It was a decently sized position, and I followed through. I told you guys I'm looking for 2 places to take profit on the Ethereum run this cycle. The first one is at the all-time high. 4,800, whatever, 68, 88, whatever it is. At the all-time high, and then I'm probably not looking to really do much else until we see Ethereum make a real move, a real push into price discovery. While we can never really know where that will end up or how that will happen or when that will happen, we can make a plan. This was the kind of the whole point of the streams for over the last few weeks. And that plan for me was to take profit at the all-time high and then basically be hands off until Ethereum touches somewhere in the $9,000, $10,000 area. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But this is the plan that I've put out. The first step is done. I locked in about a third of this position in profit. It seems like so little now because this has been up so big. I locked in about $3,000 of profit off this trade. You saw this up at like, I don't know, it was like 12,000 or something last week, and who knows. But I locked in about a third of it. And so am I realistically going to try to keep this position open until 10K? It's leverage. When it comes to trading leverage and spot, you have to approach it differently. You simply can't hold on to a leverage position the same way. That is definitely a weakness of leverage. Strength of spot is you're able to weather the storm. So probably not. Now, I do have the take profit set on this. I already have it. I don't know if it'll show me. Yeah, I already have it set up here. Will this ever happen? You know, who knows? Who knows? I have it set just in case we see something crazy happen. That wouldn't be the first time in crypto you've seen kind of a move, maybe local to a few exchanges, especially on perpetual contracts where there's a wick. I would love to catch that if it happens. In reality, I'm probably going to end up moving the stop loss up on this position. And in reality, this position will probably end up closed via that stop loss because you just simply cannot hold it open forever. This has realized profit 2,800. It actually was more than that, but I had about $300 or $400 in maintenance fees for the position. And that is why you have to be careful. Many people start trading perps, don't know this. You have to pay to keep your leverage position open. It's called a maintenance fee. It's every 8 hours. It's dynamic. It changes how much it is. So that covered that. It ate away at some of this profit margin. What is really going to happen? I don't know. I think kind of my tentative plan here is, because I already locked in some profit, I already took my principal out. The margin here is now down to $1,600. I can't possibly lose this trade. Even if it gets liquidated, I'm still up. I'll probably look for Ethereum to make some kind of move above 5,000. By asking for 10,000 quickly is probably too much to ask, but a move above 5,000, and then I'll look to inch this stop loss up. Probably placing it somewhere near the 4,000 mark. Once it hits like 5,500, maybe 6,000, I'll inch it up. And in reality, this will probably just close that way. It'll probably close on some wick to the downside, but I followed through with the plan, and I practiced what I preached here. So hopefully you guys making your own plans out there, following through with them, it takes courage. That take profit happened, like, was it last night when price was rallying? It didn't feel good. It felt like Ethereum was going to keep running. And I say this a lot. The best trades often feel the absolute worst. They go against everything in your body, everything that all the chemicals in your brain are telling you to do. Those often end up being the best ones. And on the other side of that, the trades that feel the best, when you're like, this is awesome, oh, trading so much fun, oh, this is great, are often the worst. So try to be aware of your own emotional state, your own mental state. When a trade feels good, it's probably the wrong one. When it feels bad, pay attention. There's my long-winded way. By the way, if you're looking to trade with me, I take most of my trades on BYDFI, our exchange partner. Links in the video description below. You can get some fat bonuses by signing up using my link, BYDFI. You can sign up anywhere. They don't ask questions. No restrictions. That's what they're saying now. No restrictions. Anyway, so why is Ethereum showing so much strength? Why is Bitcoin looking weak at 112K? Why is Ethereum looking so strong and Bitcoin looking so weak? Well, we have the answer. We've been following this forever. We've been talking about it forever. Here we go. Here we are. Ooh, interesting. We'll readjust this trend line. Ethereum versus Bitcoin. ETHBTC. This is the ticker. The ticker, man. ETHBTC is absolutely the ticker to be watching. While ETHBTC is trending up, it is showing us that Ethereum is outpacing Bitcoin, and that can show or kind of reveal itself in a bunch of different ways. When prices are all moving up, that would simply mean that Ethereum is moving up faster. It's gaining more percent than Bitcoin. When Bitcoin isn't moving up, like right now, it's moving sideways or even down, a trend up in ETHBTC can show us that Ethereum is looking to potentially sell off less or even rally a little bit while Bitcoin is moving down or sideways. So that's what we saw here. Basically, Bitcoin down to the right, Ethereum not blasting off, but slowly inching up, not being dragged down by the downward pressure of Bitcoin. This is why we pay attention, and one of the reasons we pay attention to these pairs is because they give us so much valuable insight. So much valuable insight. Looking at this pair, we have been watching for a move to 0.05. We saw 0.33 break, and we said if it can even get past there, this was a hard hurdle to make over. We're looking for a move pretty quickly to 0.5. Ethereum, you can see, is not quite there yet. Now, we do see a high trend interacting with it. We're going to take a look at that in a minute because I actually didn't see that till right now. But for the easiest way to explain, until Ethereum does reach its next major resistance up here, we're looking largely for this to move up, which means not selling off as hard as Bitcoin, putting on larger gains than Bitcoin when the market's moving up. What this kind of means, or how I play this personally, and if you don't understand this concept fully, don't gamble, don't take risk on this. But you saw me play a kind of interesting trade setup. You saw me bearish on Ethereum, shorting Ethereum while being long on Bitcoin. The reasoning behind that was because this pair was falling. Ethereum was losing ground versus Bitcoin. And so in that scenario, I was able to look to take long positions on Bitcoin and short positions on Ethereum. That kept my trades relatively net neutral. Not exactly, but relatively, meaning up or down, I had a position that was profiting. While this pair was trending down, it was showing me that the downside for Ethereum, or the downside for Bitcoin, was going to be less than Ethereum, and the upside for Bitcoin was going to be more than Ethereum, right? Downside, right? That when the market is moving down, Ethereum is going to drop faster. And when they're moving up, Bitcoin is going to move faster. So I was able to have shorts and longs open, largely canceling each other out, but catching kind of that tail end volatility, or the tail end extra move, extra strength, relative strength versus each other. That changed in April when Ethereum began reversing against Bitcoin and trending up. Once it broke 0.33, this was all on. But now this gives us an interesting setup of, we could, in theory, do the opposite. We could look to have longs open on Ethereum and shorts open on Bitcoin. Now, shorts open on Bitcoin 112K is a rough idea. Doesn't guarantee that this is a good idea, but this is suggesting that we can do the exact opposite. We can look to capture that extra upside on the extra upside that Ethereum will likely have in rallies, at least until we see it reach its next resistance. We'll reevaluate and capture that kind of hedging downside on Bitcoin against this pair by having a short and remaining net neutral. This is something you have to manage, something I don't recommend everybody just jump into. You can see I'm not even doing it. I don't have any shorts open on Bitcoin. Maybe I should. I'm saying this out loud. Maybe I should. But that has changed since April. Until this reaches 0.05. Once that happens, this is our major resistance on the upside. This is where I think it is likely or reasonable to say the pair may top out there. We can look to kind of make this same play. We can look to have a little bit more aggressive long on Ethereum and potentially hedge a little bit short on Bitcoin. So give me actually one moment. This trend line coming into play here, and I want to make sure that it's actually placed correctly. It's not just snapped on. It isn't placed at all. Let's see. Trend line style. They change stuff on TradingView all the time. I have to like constantly be like, wait, what? I've done this a million times. Where are the buttons? My muscle memory. Okay. Let's snap these on. Get them nice and precise. Let's see if we're here. Still looking pretty solid. All right. All right. Well, Ethereum is encountering a major downtrend here. This trend goes all the way back basically to the bear market bottom, September of 22. Ethereum bled versus Bitcoin all the way until April of this year. But let's see, this goes to May of 24 of last year. We can see a very clean trend line here. Ethereum BTC moved away from it, reached the bottom, and now is back, huh? Reacting pretty intensely here. Pretty on cue. Let's take a look at our high. What do we have? Lower RSI highs, not great. Money flow not convinced. Momentum still up. I can see a little more retracement coming in this pair, but I don't think it's done. Let's see. We've had some pullbacks. Maybe 0.38. I think this is likely a stop, just kind of a pit stop on this rally here. If we see Ethereum actually break some structure down here in August at 0.35, maybe we'll reconsider. Maybe we'll start looking at this differently. But at the moment, this is likely just a pit stop on its way up. That's my opinion. Interesting. I'm gonna keep an eye on this this trend line though, because that's coming. It's coming right in. Coming in hot. So BTC still climbing, taking a little breather here. 10 to 0.5. And those of you wondering about 0.5, what makes that special? This is just a very important level. You go back on ETHBTC and you will find that this has been a player, especially in the most recent price action, which is likely the most relevant. This was the low in June of 22. Spot ETFs came out after really testing this level over and over and over and over again. Spot ETFs came out, it dumped, broke through. This is going to be where lots of supply is going to look to jump back out of this pair. It doesn't guarantee that it doesn't mean it can't keep going. If it does, we'd likely look up here at about 0.08. But there's going to be a lot of selling pressure at 0.05 for sure. That's when I will get kind of more aware of maybe this rally coming to an end. But so far, I don't think we're going to look for it to stop here. Man, ETH really doing good. Congrats to everybody. Congrats to all the people who bought Ethereum 4 years ago at 4,800 and are now actually back underwater. But for a fleeting moment, you were on top of the world, baby. More to come. More to come. Let me jump through XRP. Pole flag. I mean, this looks like a bull flag after a move to all-time highs. This is like what I've been talking about, though. Mikey was giving me shit about saying, Ethereum, I don't know if it'll hit new all-time highs. In general, I've been talking about older cycle coins not hitting all-time highs because we haven't seen great examples of it. BNB actually, we'll have to look at that. BNB is one, but it doesn't really seem to be kind of the same vibe. Anyway, XRP is a reason. XRP moved to all-time highs and immediately sold off. Now, this looks good. It looks like it wants to break to the upside. But we've seen like almost every coin from previous cycles hit all-time highs, break them by a hair, and then move back down. We saw that on Solana as well. Back in January of this year, earlier this year, Solana did the same thing, broke all-time high, fell down. XRP broke all-time high, not as dramatically, but also fell down. Ethereum broke all-time high, now is retracing. There's some skepticism, I think, that is still very healthy about these older cycle or previous cycle coins. I believe that they will run. I believe that we'll see a real season of coins breaking and running new all-time highs, making crazy gains. I believe it's coming. But I'm also someone who follows the charts like you guys out there as well. We're not moved in the same way by the same things as a lot of the hype market, narratives, hype, whatever, just kind of BS. We follow the charts. And this is the pattern we keep seeing. It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to see Ethereum fall down. I was really hoping Ethereum would just run it, right? Because if Ethereum runs it and starts putting on real gains, I think it's logical that we'll see XRP do it. I think it's logical we'll see Solana do it. I think it's possible, whatever your coin is. But until then, here's another example. And this one is really too early to call. Don't freak out about this one. Too early to call, but like, here's another example of a coin hitting all-time high and just immediately seeing profit takers come in. The market rejecting the high and really not like kind of removing the ceiling as we've seen in the past, or even that we've seen very, very seldomly on Bitcoin over the last 3 years. We had maybe one real moment of this, November of last year, where Bitcoin broke an all-time high and then like actually kept going. It's weird because that behavior is what we have seen or what we even know about crypto markets. Like that is when people are like, ooh, crypto moon, like that's what they're talking about. And we just haven't seen it. We have very few examples. So I remain cautious, optimistically cautious. I'm still looking for it. I'm not giving up. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. But man, another one, like another example of this. What is going on? Do you guys feel this? You feel how just painful this is, how brutal? Most people cannot hang. The average human would be like, dude, I can't do this. This is so emotionally painful, so mentally torturous. Like I'm out. I'm gonna get into NVIDIA or whatever else people jump into, whatever BS, the AI narrative. Like, here we go. Like XRP has a week. Look, these monthly closes are in a week. We are in our last week of August. Interesting. You can see this important value, $3.03 for XRP. This is your monthly close up here. You've traded above and below, and you're largely hanging out right there. I wonder if that, obviously that's not true with Ethereum because Ethereum is at all-time high, right? Weird. Okay. All right. Check this out. Ethereum also Also, right there, 1 week to go. Close above 4,634. I think very likely, but interesting. More than coincidence here. Ethereum also at its like monthly all-time high close, acting as resistance with 1 week left to close this candle. That's spicy. In fact, that's worthy of an alert at $3.03 for XRP. What about Solana? Is Solana doing the same? Solana is not. Solana would be up at 237. However, maybe that's in the cards. Maybe maybe this week we'll see Solana trade at 237. Momentum looks crazy down here on market site for B. Look at this momentum. On the month, VWAP's up. Let's go down. Not quite the same. 252 on the week. Great target. Do we want to keep? I keep placing Solana longs, and then it keeps moving up. It keeps not allowing the fill. I wonder if this is the play. 190. All right, that was our take profit for a while. Flip. Enter a 190. Ugh, I don't like that stop loss. 7%. Then what? Like, was it 130? What was the monthly? 136. Guess we go up to the week up here, 252. But let's see, 238. Guess I get 3.5 to 1. That's not bad. That's not bad. I'm hesitant though, man. I keep putting these positions, and then they keep not filling and keeps moving higher. And that is like the market 101 of getting you to chase it. It's like, look at all these beautiful supports I can come back to. Yeah, no, not this time. Here's another one a little bit higher. Yeah, why don't you enter there? Oh no, not this time. And then like you keep doing that until it's like it gets you, takes all that liquidity at once. Basically like stop you out and then move. Weekly looking very strong here. Solana actually, there's money flow coming back up, momentum. RSI kind of janky, but higher highs at least. Higher high, no divergence there. That's not bad. Yeah, I'll leave it. I'll leave that trade. Stop might be a little lower. 3 to 1. Still coming up. All right. I got through the majors. Got through all the major stuff. Where's Bitcoin at right now? Looking very weird. Yeah, there was a lot of FUD about this candle. Like, oh my God, 4,000 Bitcoin. I don't know. Whatever happened here. Whether someone dumped a large amount of Bitcoin or not in that kind of narrative we've been reading, price only moved 3%. And in that same hour, it only closed down 1.7%. I would say that's a pretty solid way to absorb that. That shows a good amount of strength. Interesting, they sold kind of right at support. They sold the support here. This was resistance. They sold it. Probably trying to knock the price down lower. It did lead to the structure breaking wick, though it had already technically broken on Friday. On low time frames, I don't hate this. These lows are really kind of cleanly lined up. You don't want to keep going down there. That would not be good. But they're pretty cleanly lined up, and we have seen this, specifically this cycle, a lot. Like all the time, almost on every major move, we have seen this. I don't know if this is going to be a good example. I'm just going to go with the most recent. We see this like downtrend that like breaks and then moves up, right? This isn't the best example, but the others are much better. We have seen this at almost every major price consolidation point. Something like this, yep. Back here in May, we saw testing of like this clean, not steep angled trend line that just bounces us up. It's happened back here as well. I'm on the hourly. No wonder I was like, why do things look so weird? Because it's supposed to be on the daily time frame. That's the one we just looked at right here. It's gonna look cleaner on the day. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, right? You go back to early this year, February, March. It's like pretty How did you place this? Pretty similar. I don't know how. I don't even know what wick I'm looking for. Kind of similar stuff. We're seeing this falling, but organized falling. Organized falling. And what it really looks like, here's the best example. What it really looks like is market makers building zones of liquidity. If you're not familiar with that, you can check out, got a lot of videos on stuff like this. Building zones of liquidity with these taps, breaking it, and then trending back up. That is the pattern that we have seen almost every move up on Bitcoin. So I don't hate it. I don't hate it. This is lower time frame. You know, maybe we're kind of seeing what we want to see. Maybe I'm seeing what I want to see here. But yeah, I've been noticing that. I'm gonna look at one more chart. Sorry guys, I know I've been in the zone. I'm gonna look at one more chart. Total crypto market cap. I say that, and then I'm like, but what about dominance? And then what about all these other charts? Let me look at one more chart here. Total, just real quick. Let me glance over it, and then I'm gonna jump to the chat. I apologize. We're 45 minutes in. That's longer than usual for me to be in the zone. I had a good weekend. That's probably why. Feeling it. Also, we had like 100 people waiting for the stream today, which is awesome. We haven't had that on a non-𝐶 stream in a while. Total. Okay, total definitely making me feel a little better here. Total is being supported by Ethereum's gain, of course. Though Bitcoin is losing a little bit of ground, Ethereum is outpacing that loss here. And we can see that reflected in total. Bitcoin has done this, right? If we look at the Bitcoin has hit this low of August, that's 12K, bounced, failed to rally, and broken 12K. So that is what Bitcoin's done. Here is total. Total did the same sell-off with Bitcoin, of course, but came back to our critical 3.73 trillion, back to the previous cycle, last year's all-time high, 3.373 trillion. Found support and bounced. Now, this is also a failed high for the moment. You can see a lower high here. So reflective of what Bitcoin's doing. However, critically, it has not fallen below that major support. We can see that was tested here over and over, and it held. So this actually hasn't begun a downtrend in the same way. This has an all-time high into a higher low. Yes, this is a lower high, but we don't have a break. We don't have a lower low yet. So total crypto market cap on the day, unlike Bitcoin, is still trending up. There is no series of lower low and lower highs. Ethereum is definitely bolstering that, definitely supporting that. But as long as we are above 3.73 trillion, total is signaling that maybe we shouldn't be worried about Bitcoin. Maybe Bitcoin's just taking a breather while some other people take the stage. This is this is critical. Watch this chart. Set alerts. You can see I have more than one alert at 3.73 trillion. Trading below here is not good. We can come here, test it. It's not ideal. We don't want to test it, but we can come here and test it. As long as we stay above, we're good. If total starts to fall down and break August's low down here, then the rally is in jeopardy. The rally is much more in jeopardy than it would be right now. This is not what we want to see. But we don't have that. Total saying chill out. Don't worry about it yet. Don't worry about it quite yet. The whole thing, the whole shebang, all of crypto, still trending up. Don't freak out. Okay. Yeah, we'll pull the chat up. Let me see what you guys are vibing with. Something interesting here. What happened to the British pound? We'll have to look at that. British pound must be gaining strength. Must be gaining significant strength, maybe related to the sell-off, because look at this low. Look at that. And it diverged from the euro. The euro, yeah, that's a pretty crazy low too, but definitely less extreme than the pounds here. Let me see. Just like that. I know it's kind of hard to see. Less extreme than the pounds. Still there, but not quite as crazy. And the franc. These were all kind of sticklers, all waiting for all-time high. Euro still never hit an all-time high against Bitcoin. Jeez. But something happened with the GBP. I'll have to look at it. Anyway, let me pull up the chat. Let me refresh it. Who's here? Who's here? We got 500 votes. Is the top end for crypto? What do you think? I got your chats up right here. CME gap? Hell yeah, it's Monday. I don't know why I forget to do that sometimes. Good reminder. Good reminder. All right, CME gaps. What's up, Randy? What's up, Tin Man? What's up, Tom? Thanks for live stream. Thanks for being here, bro. Yeah, we do have a gappy gap. You guys are the best, dude. We're a team here. We're a team. Yeah. No man is an island. Without you guys, I would have forgot to look at this. That's a gap. That's a big gap. What's also cool about this gap, rare, is the gap is precisely from the 20 daily moving average to the 50 daily. The bottom of the gap is at the 50, the top is at the 20. That's interesting. That's chart nerd stuff. We'll look at CME more in a minute, but let me see who's here. Let me see. The British bank holiday today. Maybe that's something to do with it. Maybe, baby genius. I'm gonna look at the pound. We're gonna look at the pound briefly. It started though. The divergence looks like it started yesterday, which I would assume the pound didn't make any big moves yesterday, but we'll see. Could be related to the dollar too. We'll take a look. Dave Brum, check out the playlist right here on Tom Crown Crypto's YouTube channel. Thank you, brother. Thanks for the shill. There's an excellent free trading course I just linked it that you can go through if you're trying to learn to trade or tune your trading. It right on, bro. It's free. There's dozens of episodes, more always coming out. What's up, Gold Dragon? Das Peach. It better not be the top. If this is the top, I need a refund. I need a straight up refund. I have not made nearly enough monies. I haven't made nearly. Guys, I thought I'd be retired by now. I thought by now, like 2025, end of 2025, 2017. If you had asked me, I'd been like, yeah, by then I'll still stream. I'll still stream, but like, just whenever I want, because I'll be retired. Thanks, crypto. What's up, One with Nature? How you doing, man? Derek Merrill, my boy. How are you? Lasers go pew pew. CBK, I subbed. What is CBK? Is that your other account? Maybe. Uppity. What's up, HD? Tom and Lifer are the best. Love Sammy. Feeling bullish, Dr. Crypto? All right. Good. Feel it. What's up, Janix? No CME gap in the way you define them. Well, there's definitely a gap. So there's definitely a gap. A gap doesn't have to like not have any candle there. A gap, you look from the previous close to the new open. So when CME opened, the gap was down here at 12.5, 112.5. But because it's traded up, actually, and you're right, your comment there just your comment there made me realize I placed this incorrectly. Because we have a wick up, that gap has been filled there to the wick. So there you go. If it helps, you can go down to lower time frames if you need to visually see the gap. Because there you go, you'll visually see it. And you trade it up, closed, open down here, right? So this is all a gap. Even though it's been traded here. The reason it's a gap is because you've had continuous trading that halted and then began somewhere else. So you almost always have a gap. The only way you don't have a gap when you close is, whatever happens over the weekend and then price opens right here at that previous candle. Then you wouldn't have a gap at all. But on Monday, you'll always have a gap for the most part. Sometimes it'll just be really tiny. They won't be even worth looking at. One question I do have also is like, I don't get how this works. So on the day you saw me place these with the magnet at the exact price. So the daily closed there according to TradingView, but then you go down to the hour and actually the gap should be from up here because the hourly that's the last candle in the day, right? And then you go back to the day and you'll see that that's not the case. So I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know why it does that. So I usually just, out of simplicity, I just take the daily value. Make it easy. What's up, baby genius? There's a gap from back in the day, a few months back at 92. Bro, there is more than that, my friend. Here is the map of all the gap map. The gap map is right here. Here's all the gaps. These are all valid gaps on the day. All of these are open. One of them has been open since 2020, 5 years. I don't think it'll ever close, but that's me. Let me look at this quick. What about the week here? Nah, nothing. Nada. Okay. There it is. We can look more at it. What's up? One House Productions, Mr. Dinkles. CBK, what's up, bro? Always take profits at the top just in case. It is the tippity top. And we'll only know in hindsight. Yeah, the problem, though, is if you always take profits at the all-time high, at the high, or whatever, then you're out. When do you get back in? Sometimes you don't get back in then. What's up, Untexas Pickle? How you doing, bro? Hope you had a good weekend, brother. Bank holiday in the UK. What's up, Up and Run? Don't forget your number 134. I won't forget. I don't know what that means, but I won't forget. What's up, Ahmed Fahid? Why isn't there a gap? It's so weird. Sometimes maybe CME's a scam. I don't understand. Like I just told you guys, I don't really get why. I couldn't tell you why the data for the daily close on a daily candlestick is not exactly the same as the data for the last hourly candle close. I don't know, man. But is it a scam? I wouldn't say scam. There's clearly elements of this data that is not clear. And again, I don't think anyone should use CME as like a trading. I mean, definitely as a guide of some kind, but not as a rigid trading structure. Because look at the gaps. If you depended on the gaps, right, to trade, I think that every gap that is like ever forms on CME does give you a good target to the upside or the downside for basically that week, maybe that month, right? Gives you a good target, high probability. It's not guaranteed. But if you were to forever wait for these gaps, right, for entries, or just totally use them, look at what would happen. You would get left out right before the rally in 21. You would get left out here in 2023 at 19K. You would get left out at the bottom again in October. You would get left out again in November, right before the run-up. You get left out right here at the start of 24, at the literal 𝐂𝐴𝐽 bottom of the ETF sell-off. You get left off again in September of 24 at 55, literally at the bottom right before the run-up. You get left out again at 60. You get left out again at 92. These are definitely not to be used as like fact, right? But they're definitely valuable to say, look at this opening gap for this week. Okay, well, 16.8, 116.8, probably a pretty good take profit target to the upside. High probability of revisiting there. It's just not guaranteed. That's why I kind of caution people away at times. The real OG, thank you, bro. No man is an island. He's a peninsula. Canadian lawyer and mayor. You're a mayor in Canada. What's up, Giving for Christ? You're a mayor? Welcome, Mayor Giving. What's up, Sheikh Zula? YouTube, bro. What's up, Adam Buzzard? GBP. Stables have been growing this week on Stellar. Interesting. I wonder, GBP. I didn't look at BNB, actually. Did I have GBP? What's like the GBP index? Curious. What happens if I just type in GBP? Is there a Dixie for GBP? Yeah, I guess sterling, pound versus dollars. It's probably all we need. Weird. Weird. I would have expected maybe more volatility here. Friday was a big green candle. That makes sense. Because that's what I said originally, is the pound must have gained strength here on Friday because we saw it break structure. This is something that's so cool. You don't hear people talk about, but something so cool about charts trading and specifically like Bitcoin in the world. Bitcoin has gotten big enough. It's gotten so big that currencies, the strength, growing and waning of global currencies like the dollar, the pound, the euro, can be viewed through it. You can see the changes. You can see when they're gaining strength and when they're weakening, just by the divergence of the different charts for Bitcoin in those values. Like, this is so cool. I find that nerdy and awesome. So we did see the rally there. This is weakening. I mean, weakening yet you still had this low break. It's interesting. It's interesting. Did the same happen for euro? And if we see kind of the same thing on euro here, then we just should have started by looking at The euro versus the yen. If we see the same thing on the euro, then we should have just started looking at the Dixie. Yeah, you see the rally on Friday. So basically by seeing the euro and the GBP rally on Friday, we can go to the dollar or the Dixie and we can already tell without even looking at the chart. I haven't looked at it today. We can already tell that Dixie dumped on Friday. So let's pull that up. I guess we knew that because we watched 𝐶HPOW at Jackson's Hole. We saw it, right? Yeah. Yep. And there it is. I forgot about that. To be honest, I just forgot about it. Dollar, yeah, took a huge old dump while we were live. What a spicy day. That was fun. Whole % down in an hour. It kind of looks like it's dead cat bouncing, doesn't it? Looks a little dead cat bouncy. What's also interesting is that wasn't the first time in August. I didn't think about this. It's actually the second time in August we've seen this kind of event. We saw it on Friday with Jackson's Hole. And then we saw it back here. Pretty similar move in 1 hour. On the 1st of August, we saw the dollar dump a little bit more, actually, 1.14%. Two of these big slicey moves. This wick is crazy too. Sunday the 10th on it. Huh. What's also interesting is where that initial dump in August ends is almost where this topped out, right? Huh. Makes you think, doesn't it? I didn't get anywhere near through the chat. Should you long or short? Yes. Yes. What's up, Big Daddy Super Balls Rothschild? Quite a name. What's up, BY Driver? No reason to drop today. I mean, we broke market structures. A lot of structure breaking here. From a chart view, I mean. Like, we have a lower low. The low on Sunday broke Friday's low. You know, we have structure breaking. We have lower highs. We have a downtrend on Bitcoin on the day. That's reason. And narratives are always wrong. I don't know why people still chase that. Like, did Trump say something? Did BlackRock say something? It's like, dude, those are literally always wrong. Like, they're always, the narrative is always wrong. It's crazy. What's up, Joe? Joe Monaco, major butt cheeks. Major cheeks. What's up? Crypto Knight is a weird gap. Gowd, what's up, dude? USDT dominance. You guys notice I don't look at USDT dominance much because it is just, honestly, it's just like inverse Bitcoin dominance. I don't think it really shows you anything super special. Like, if this is going down, it's going up. But I'll pull it up because I know a bunch of people. There must be some creator who talks about this and like pretends it's some kind of hidden ninja alpha. It's not. It ain't. It ain't. Look at that. I haven't revisited this chart in a while. It's interesting. It's been a while. We really nailed this. Like, destroyed this chart. We're looking for the high to be in back here, 24. The lower high earlier this year, and then the last lower high. Oh man, this was such a good call. We had so many good calls here. I remember when this was trending up on this trend line, and people were so convinced it was going up, and I was like, nah, dude, I think it's gonna break this trend and then head back down to this major trend line. It did exactly that. Yep, look, boom, exactly that. Broke lower high, back to the trend, lower high, under the trend. Do I still think that this will happen? Because this would imply that that prices are down. Yeah, maybe into September, right? September, if you're looking for a sell-off this year, September is like the time to look for it, in my opinion. Charts looks like shit. Chart absolutely looks like shit. It looks so bearish, but it's kind of silly to get bearish on this chart for anything other than directional. Kind of look at the market, because is even if it's bearish, you know, what's it gonna do? Like drop here, drop here or something. I mean, that would be good. That would likely mean that crypto is mooning. You know, if stablecoin USDT dominance moves from 4% down to 2%, what does that mean? Think about it. Think about it, chat. What does that mean? There are many, there's a bajillion different explanations that you could come up with, but what is the most logical, easiest, brain dead, most likely explanation? Don't consider any crazy outlier scenarios. I'll give you 2 seconds to think about it. USDT dominance, let's round it, is at 4% right now, and it drops to 2%. What has happened? The simplest and most logical thing that has happened in that scenario is that the total crypto market cap has doubled. The crypto market cap can double very quickly, and the USDT's market cap is going to slowly, more linearly climb. So if it falls in half, that likely means that there are other scenarios, but it most likely means, in the simplest terms, that the total crypto market cap has doubled. What would that mean for it right now? If it were to go from right here, what would that mean? It would mean it came home, as Benjamin Cohen would say. Went on home. Went on to the cycle target high that we're still nowhere near. That's the scenario. That is the scenario. Of course, you can explain it other ways. You could say, well, maybe the USDT burned half of its supply. You know, yeah, but that's like, those are stupid. Those aren't really outcomes that are as logical. They're not as realistic. They can certainly happen. Not gonna say it's impossible, but like, those are crazy complex answers. Mid-cycle top. Bear till December, says Lorenzo. Jeez. Till December. It's just a false move Monday. Well, it also is a false move Sunday then. This is the chart I'm watching right now. Looking for some kind of dead cat bounce on the corn. Maybe this. The problem though is for this to happen, this dead cat bounce, right? For this to happen, FBTC has to drop. And we did earlier in the episode identify that we think it will at least take a breather. I don't think its rally is over, but it's at a really good rest stop for this rally. Major descending trend. Finally hit it. It's at a good rest stop. You know, it could just kind of chill out. Maybe you do this. Maybe. That'd be cool. I wouldn't hold my breath for it. But you need Ethereum to pull back. Or at least you need Ethereum to chill out for this to happen. And yeah, I mean, that does line up kind of with the narrative we've established today. Prior gaps have to be filled. No, they don't. No. They statistically get filled, but no. I gotta refresh the chat. I'm like all the way back. Alts, Moon, what's up? You know, let's do it this way. This is the easiest way. Let me see who's here today. 4-star strength. AS, Based Bailey, CBK Wahoo, Crypto Knight, Derek Merrill, Das Peach, David Brum, Dead and Seen, Fahid, Gowd, In the Moment, KDP, Lasers, Lucky Thoughts, Milos, Shane, Dank. I know a lot of people aren't talking in chat because I haven't been reading the chat as much. I haven't been engaging you guys. Who else is here? If you're here today, let me know. Also, if you're here for the first time today, did you just find this channel? Let us know. That's interesting. They will print more USDT. Of course they will. Forever. Hang on, folks. What's up? What's up, Shrink Tech? Epidemic. How are you, brother? In the Moment? No. Okay. What's up, Gary C. Jordan? Working and listening? All right. Cool. Dawn. What's up, Dawn? King Peasant DeFi here for the first time. Welcome, DeFi Crypto and Airdrops. Welcome, brother. We don't talk about DeFi and airdrops often on this channel. As a creator, I find it can be like irresponsible. Just a lot of airdrops and stuff. A lot of that ends up with drainers, and I just don't put my audience at risk. But hey, you guys are always welcome to bring them up. Always welcome to talk about them. I just don't usually, because I don't want to be the one who's like, Tom Crown told me about this and I lost all my money because I clicked it. Yeah, I don't know. Hype up the chat. What's up, Weefa? Hello from Hyperborea. I don't know where that is, but it sounds dope. Love hearing your name. No homo. Lasers go. Pew pew. There you go, bro. What's up, Scott? Here for the first time? Scotty Swing, welcome. I feel like your name is familiar. You might be lying to me. What's up, George Vol? You've been here the whole time, probably. Working, not looking to chat much. Fair. What's up, Christopher Stars? Tube Butler. Tom Crown's a good, thank you. There are no rules in crypto. You're not here, I'm here. I'm here, you're not here. Litecoin dominance is the real hidden alpha. It's a dark chart. What's up, Coden? When CME gap fill? Which one? The recent one? Probably this week. This weekend's gap probably gets filled this week. Here's all your gaps. Here's your gaps. As your gaps. What's up, G1 Casey? How are you? July peak. I missed it. Petro, always here. Thank you, sir. Just a guy here smashed the like already. What am I doing? I don't know. I'm just vibing. Vibing. Trader Geo's secret weapon. Litecoin dominance? Jeez. BitBoy, I hope BitBoy is okay. At this point, I just hope he's okay because, like, I don't know. I lost track of the story. Joe Den Midang. I don't know what that is, Kevin. We teach how to do it safely. Fair, but, you know, you can... It can't always be done... Well, that's not true. It can't always be done safely. It depends. Depends. It's just not worth it for me. It's not my area of expertise. See me gaps like gravitational pull of stars. Oh, only relevant when you're near them. There's probably some truth to that. What's up, Crypto Mel? Discipline and focus. Just a white lie. Fair. Synody Eclipse. Midster. BitBoy wrecked so many people. Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Oh, I certainly deserves everything. He deserves everything that's coming to him. First time here, Edgar. Welcome, brother. You found us. We've been here on YouTube almost 7 years. 6.5 years. Spreading the good word, trying to keep you guys safe, not shilling bull to you guys. Just charting, giving you my honest opinion. What's up, 𝐂𝐡𝐚𝐫𝐭? Love your channel. Thank you. Sanity Eclipse. Your name represents how you invest. Sanity, you eclipse sanity. What's up, Badger? Good evening from the UK. UK, mate. Didn't the market absorb a 3-time bigger sale about 2 weeks ago? Probably. I don't know. I don't even follow that crap. I don't even follow that crap. I think it's just noise. Like, let's be real. This did nothing. The more that was sold in this clip or whatever, like, the more it really is just a testament to how strong Bitcoin is. It's like, how much was sold and what happened to the market? Nothing. That amount of sell, whatever it is, I don't know, 8 years ago would have nuked the market. Now it's like barely even budges. It's a sign of strength. It's a good thing. It's positive. Mr. Dinkles, that's what you said. We going to zero? Yeah, probably, you know. We're going to add a zero. Hyperborea is a mythical land found in Greek mythology. Okay. It's also where Bitcoin was created. Wow, fun fact, Weeva. Was about to do your first trade today. You want to review one more? Notice the dump. Lucky. Interesting. Be careful. Don't be afraid to go real small when you start trading. Blatant manipulation is keeping retail out. What is manipulation, right? I've always had an issue with manipulation, the word. Manipulation is just people, institutions, algorithms, robots, just buying and selling, right? It's just the same thing all of us do. There's really no such thing as manipulation. Like, it really isn't. The only time it's manipulation is when, like, I don't know, maybe people are like cheating in the sense of like maybe an exchange is pretending to have assets they don't, allowing assets that they don't have to be borrowed. I would say that would be manipulation. When it's like there's like a fundamental lying, but market makers and people and algorithms and stuff pushing the price around, even if it's not what we want, it's not. I don't think it's not manipulation. It's just fair market, efficient market, maybe. Not a hill that I'll die on. But I've heard so many times like that's why retail's out, like different things like that. And it's like, nah, retail. I know exactly. I'll tell you exactly why retail isn't in yet. I'll tell you exactly with 100% precision. It's because we haven't ripped. We had a little bit of time where retail was jumping in. It was only like a week. Where, when, and why? This is the only reason you need. Because we were ripping. Retail is driven by one thing, and that is being absolutely consumed by greed and euphoria. We just don't have any greed and euphoria. That's why they're not here. That's it. Haven't had time to check the chart since Thursday. Probably a good time not to. Bitcoin coming back is out and posted today. Oh, Jesus. Let me see. Is he? I don't see any like tweets or anything. That's good. Well, who knows? BitBoy coming back to bottom signal. Bottom signal or top signal? You like to watch Litecoin when you scalp and moves ahead? I often see Litecoin kind of move early, but then stop early. Litecoin getting me wrecked again. What's up, Crispy? Tom, the truth is retail doesn't have cash this time around. True, but again, like they didn't really, like I just feel like that's always been the case. It is worse now. It is significantly worse. But here's the issue. We all want to have a narrative. We all want to have a reason. We want to explain why retail isn't here. It's very human of us. We love to do this because when we can explain it, we have some kind of control or sense of control. And there's also like a resolution to like all that needs to happen is this, right? All that needs to happen is this one thing, and then they can be back in. It makes sense. I just don't go down those holes, those pathways, because it's just even simpler than that. We're overcomplicating it with these narratives and these ideas. We're overcomplicating it. Retail, no matter what the condition is, will come when when the euphoria and like when the euphoria is created by number go up, when you see big explosive moves. We've even seen little tastes of it over the last year or two. We saw it, like I said, at the end of last year. We saw it overall in the space, so we saw it a lot with XRP. XRP started blasting. Emotions drove people. Greed drove people into the market. It will do that no matter what economic condition people are in. People don't have to have money. They never have money. They'll find out. They'll figure it out. They'll make bad financial decisions. They'll take loans. They'll do these things. And it is just, is there euphoria? Is their number go up? Is there pump? And when there is, they'll be back. Like, it's that simple. I've watched this over and over and over again. DeFi, crypto, and airdrops. Yeah, separate wallets. Well, I was also even going to say, well, some airdrops, you're going to get me into this. Some airdrops require that you have the assets, or I don't know, like maybe even at the, like in the wallet. So you can't necessarily have a different wallet, but what you can do is you can transfer the assets out of that wallet, never use that wallet again, and then claim an airdrop. Like there's ways, but honestly, I know people aren't going to do that. And so it's just not worth it for me. I know that people aren't going to do it. They're just going to say, this will be safe. And especially because I've never promoted any scams or rugs or anything like that. They're going to say, Tom Crown talked about it. It must be safe. I don't need to take all these cautions. And then they'll get wrecked. And then, I mean, it's not my fault, but I don't know. It's just not worth it for me. You saw a video posted by BitBoy 18 hours ago. What? Really? 18 hours ago. He looked okay. Wow. I just opened his channel and instantly it started. Blah, blah, blah. 19 hours ago. Wow. And is he just right back into making videos? Bro. I mean, he had like a bunch of queued up like B-roll videos that he published over the last few months. Bro, are you really right back to making content? Wow, that's sad. I cared about this guy so deeply at one point. We were good friends. Dude, you're just getting out of like, it's like a crackhead going back to crack as soon as they get out of rehab. Like, okay, I didn't want to get into it. Wow. Like, I did rehab, right back to crack. Anyway. Brown pants sold out. What's up? What's up, Luke? Good morning, Luke. That wouldn't be his account. No, dude, that's his account. That's him driving a car. That's early top, September, October. Yeah, I think that's a reasonable time to be looking for a top. Yeah, behave sure. Just like the FBTC chart, is there one for Litecoin to compare against? Can you please analyze? Oh God, I hope you're not just trolling me. So hopefully you're not trolling me. To answer the question, of course, there is always a chart for any asset against Bitcoin. Sometimes you won't be able to find it. Maybe it won't be traded, but you can always create this chart simply by taking an asset and dividing it by Bitcoin. That's really all this is. LTC, BTC, ETH, it's really just the value of ETH versus divided by Bitcoin. It's convenient because it is actually traded on some places, so you can just find it. But if it's not traded, you can still make that chart just by typing in ETH divided by BTC on TradingView. And what you'll find is that even if it's not traded, it will still behave. You can still chart it, and it will still behave, sometimes even better than actually traded assets. The way you would expect with trading. It will still statistically bounce from support and statistically reject from resistance, even if no one's directly trading it. It's pretty cool. So you wanted me to look at Litecoin, and again, I hope you weren't trolling me, but this is Litecoin. Litecoin has been brutal. I many times have been excited, right? 22 had a nice little reversal, looked like it was going up. I've been excited many times. I don't know if I'm prepared to be excited again. But you go all the way down to current price action on this, and it doesn't look bad. Today's candle kind of sucks, actually, because this was and still is pretty strong, but had a really nice setup here. All-time low, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. You broke your neckline. It hit a higher high. You're in an uptrend. You came back and tested that previous high support, and you began rallying again. And man, today's candle kind of sucks because it looks like you're looking to break this and trade lower. I guess you still are holding this, even if you go a little lower. But this was so strong. It's such a strong reversal sign. And Litecoin just looks like he wants to poop in my dreams again. But this is some of the strongest that we've seen in a while. Ooh, the stream is